Hi everyone, welcome back to Rachel's Enchanting Cakes. Now today I'm going to be showing you how to use the Katie Sue Fairy Door mould. I use this for my most recent Princess Castle cake tutorial. Here you can see the details inside this actual mould. Now this would be perfect for any fairy cake as well, obviously, and also maybe a woodland bark cake with a little fairy door on. But as you can see, there are some little brick textures just at the top left hand corner there if you do choose to use it on a castle cake. As always, everything you need to know in a simple step-by-step format. This is the castle cake that this door was used on, and it is available as a completely free tutorial. First, sprinkle the mould with some icing sugar and then simply tip out any excess. Using some modelling paste, you can use fondant if you want to, but modelling paste tends to be easier to work with. I start by going around the outsides of the door. I'm just using a Dresden tool here just to push in any of that excess fondant. So all I'm doing here is continuing to fill in those gaps on the door, including the hinges and just around where the window would go. Now the reason fondant will work just as well as modelling paste is because I actually place this in the freezer. This allows me to take it away from the mould without damage, but the fondant, once left to air dry, will still set lovely and hard. It will just set a lot faster if you choose to use modelling paste. Okay, now again this is fondant. I'm using a lighter shade of purple, the same one used in the castle cake tutorial, and then I just push this down over that darker fondant. Now this one you really do want to push down on because you want to pick up on all those details of the door and then simply cut off any excess. Because I'm going to be placing mine directly in the freezer, I simply apply grey fondant to either side of the door. If you're not choosing to place yours in the freezer and you want to release the door, it would be a good idea to release the door before doing the sides. Now these are designed like wood, but this is where it's exciting about being creative. So the Princess Castle cake that is already available on the channel has grey bricks, and I loved how this went around the door. So I have actually used this on a brick castle cake and it worked beautifully. If you are applying yours to the freezer, once you have pushed it in, simply place it in there for about an hour. Okay, so once it's been in the freezer, it's a lot easier to take out of the mould. Now some of that dark purple does stay behind, but that's no problem. I just use my Dresden tool, take it out of the mould afterwards, and then apply it directly to the top as the fondant is actually sweating. As the fondant sweats, it will act like natural glue. It will start to feel very, very soft, but as it air dries, it will go lovely and hard and be lovely and pliable. Once it has gone soft out of the freezer, we are then going to merge it all together with some edible glue before leaving it to completely set and adding that perfect finishing touch. So look at how perfect that looks. You wouldn't have thought some was still stuck in the mould. Now the fondant is getting very sticky. I am using some edible glue though to make sure that these are stuck on permanently, because once this is left to air dry, as long as it's left for long enough, it will be lovely and hard, perfect for the side of a cake. So for the final finishing touch, all I add is a few edible dusts. So I add some of this lovely pink directly to that purple door and then a lovely lustre dust. Just want to give you a little tip. If you have a round cake, let's say you're doing a 6-inch round sponge cake and you want to make this door in advance, when you leave it to set, you do everything that we did previously, but instead of leaving it flat, add some baking paper to the outside of a 6-inch round tin and place it on there. I wedge it with a couple of cups just so that the tin can't fall to one side or the other. It will set lovely and hard if left long enough, but it will set at an angle so that you can still place it directly onto a round cake. And finally, I have this really lovely silver luster dust, and this is also used an awful lot on the actual castle. Happy baking, everyone. I really do hope I've helped you again today, and I'll be back soon with an awful lot more new, completely free content.